you so much for tuning in to She's All Over the Place with Kitty Aki. That's me. Welcome to She's All Over the Place. This show is dedicated to inspire you, entertain you, and get those wheels turning inside. Definitely. We're here to take massive action. I know if you're listening to this, you have the capabilities to take massive action and be a part of the ripple effect, for sure. Okay, let's just jump right into it. So last night, I watched The Social Dilemma. Have you seen it yet? It's a must-see. It's great. It's so mind-blowing. Wow. And it's so impactful. One of the things they say is this guy, he's giving this information about Google and how they have $20 billion worth of software and programs and computers and wires. And they show these videos and images of how it's stored in all of these massive rooms, and they even have some underwater, and it's insane. And it's just like there's no competition whatsoever. So anything you're doing on social media, like anything in my mind where it's like ever since I was super young and had all this ambition and thinking, okay, if I had an army of 8 different setups of assistants in each category of what I want to create in my mind, it's just like it really bursts all my bubbles because it's just not happening. It's not happening. It's we're human beings, and we're up against technology and AI and the information that it's reading. It's like a no-win battle. So it just really kind of breaks down my mental grid and beliefs inside, and it really just took a lot of pressure off of me. I had all these high expectations, and I was beating myself and being so hard on myself, for things in my mind and fantasy of what I wanted to create as a projection on the outside of myself, just, all these material things, and on so many different levels. And it's just, by just watching this documentary, it just deflated it. Thank God. Thank goodness gracious. So I'm a really big fan of all the tech people who showed up and had a lot of courage and shared this information with the world, with social media and technology and their good intentions and, what they were wanting to do and, the twists and turns that happen along the way. So definitely watch The Social Dilemma immediately. At the end, make sure you watch it all the way to the end. They give tips, and they were saying how most tech people, they do not allow their children to have social media. Like their watch time is slim, but they give regulations of things for kids, who are under 18 for social media. So I think it's really impactful. I'm actually going to be seeing my niece, and she's 12. She's amazing. And I'm going to tell her mother about it and have them watch it. Maybe we'll just all watch it together again. That would be awesome. The people in the documentary created the Center for Humane Technology, and I'm now their #1 fan. And it's so refreshing to see all of those names in the credits, and they're all a part of this mission to have regulation, to make new boundaries within technology for the health of us as humans. It's a big thing. It's a really, really big thing. Some people are aware of it. Some people are still clueless. It's a huge conversation. But today's topic actually is all about Breonna Taylor. I want to narrow into this subject. But yeah, definitely the Center for Humane Technology. Look them up. I just did myself, and I want to get more involved. Oh, okay. Oh, also, when I was looking up on IMDb Pro, so if you're an actor or in entertainment, iMovie Database, it's like the go-to place you can find out about anyone who's who. Like if you meet a director, producer, an actor, an agent, or anyone, you can just look them up on IMDb. You can see the work they've done. If you have Pro, you can get more information. But a great actor tip is definitely IMDb Pro, IMDb for a great resource. So I'm looking up The Social Dilemma, right? and I saw the casting director was Jenny Ju, and I'm like, Jenny Ju, shout out. So I sent her an email just now, just saying, hey, and I was just gonna, record my podcast, and I saw that she cast the film, which was epic and super impactful. I'm really excited because I've worked with Jenny Ju. Her and Joanna Ray, they cast me in The Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. Yeah, so I love Jenny Ju. She's brilliant. Ironically, tonight was the night of the Emmys. How cool is that? Okay, so speaking of the Emmys, I also wanted to give a special shout out to Vox, the best voiceover agency in the world. It looks like one of their clients, he goes by The Real Jason Isaacs on Instagram. He voices a character in The Dark Crystal. Yeah. And they won an Emmy for Best Children's Program. How cool is that? Oh God. I mean, to be a part of this collective consciousness is just like amazing. I feel so honored and so blessed. It's so cool. I feel so right at home. Yeah, so speaking of the Emmys, really fascinating to watch them this year. Speaking of I was watching them with my 91-year-old grandmother, my yaya, and she was so cute. Like halfway through the program, she started saying and I like look over at her and I'm just like, what is going on? And she was so funny because when people were accepting the rewards, she would count on her hand in Greek how many times they would say and I guess that just naturally happens as human beings in between thoughts and just having so many emotions come up. Our natural loop cycle, we were like, She counted one person. They 26 times. I guess you had to be there. It was a really funny moment. There you go. Yeah, so it was really neat seeing Regina King speak, and some others were wearing Breonna Taylor t-shirts. I thought that was really neat. You know, I'm not an expert in this topic, and I'm someone who was raised in a more suburban atmosphere, and I was taught to stay away from certain scenes, but then I would go to Detroit and hang out in very raw, real atmospheres. Growing up in the Detroit electronic music scene, I've always had a very diverse circle around me. I know people who are very, very privileged and others who are on the opposite side of living very humble lives, regardless of race. It's been very eye-opening seeing some people try to ignore this topic. I think maybe I was taught to turn a blind eye or, keep my mouth shut or don't say anything or, be polite or, just kind of keep quiet, and I would feel all these things and it would just be emotionally confusing. I didn't understand it. It was definitely confusing, especially, my parents grew up in Detroit and there were riots at the time, and I remember when I was growing up, I was hearing about the riots and I didn't comprehend it until I saw this movie called Detroit that Catherine Bigelow directed. And seeing that film gave me a visual sense of like what my parents were talking about when I was a kid. And also I just had all this rage during and after. And it just was like, I was so enraged and it was absolutely disgusting. Brilliant film, by the way. Being an artist, just being a human being, I know that we all have a voice and our voice matters. And what we say and what we don't say really matters. I love my international friends. I'm not the most knowledgeable person with race relations, but I'm going on a journey to be a better person, to incorporate more diversity and to stand up for injustice. Although sometimes in the past I might have ignored it because violence and brutality isn't too pretty. I'm really sensitive. I'm a really, really sensitive human being. I'm an empath. I pick up on other people's energies and thoughts. And as ignorant as it may sound, there are people who only want, a polished life. And while I appreciate that and growing up, I definitely wanted that as well. White picket fence, everything to be really perfect and polished and, Clueless, super Clueless. Love that movie. And just like everything to a T being perfect. I'm now seeing, well, I've always really seen and felt the rawness and admire the rawness and knew I had that in me and was attracted to that. But now I'm seeing a new kind of beauty in the rawness. There's a beauty in who we naturally are. And I definitely want to be someone to encourage people to be themselves 100%, and shift from buying into the blonde hair, blue eyes, celebrity, plastic, anorexic lifestyle. To give you a clear picture, we're all human and we have anger and we have sadness and pain, and really that makes us all beautiful. And I really find by looking at these things along my journey thus far, I feel it's made me a more in-depth human being. It's made me connect with the world and people more. I also feel it's made me a better actor. Not only I feel it's made me a better person for myself, for my family, and I can be a better person for others, but it's definitely made me a better actor. Like, to have these experiences, these high, lows, in betweens, and all these things going on. I just felt like, every actor has their journey and there's these walls and we get stuck. And I just feel like I just didn't have some life experience that I needed. With that being said, during the lockdown, I heard some pretty devastating news. And what came across my heart, chest, soul, ears, and everything in between was the name Breonna Taylor and the news we heard about Breonna Taylor. And it just stuck with me. And just from everything I was seeing and hearing and experienced in life thus far, I just felt really moved during the lockdown. And I actually put together a whole bunch of beats that I made. I put together this EP, Hypnotic Energy, and I'm actually going to release it October 20th. It'll be available everywhere. Hypnotic Energy. I was so inspired one evening by Breonna Taylor that I went into the studio and it just came out of me. It was just this spoken word piece, and it was just like, her name, just saying her name and just knowing and feeling as if I have some kind of connection with her. We all do. We're all massively impacted by the news and the circumstances. She's an angel. Simply put, she's a beautiful angel. And although I never met her in person, I feel as if we've met. And I hope as an artist, this will move and inspire others and they can feel some of the things that I'm feeling, because I'm really vulnerable, really, really vulnerable, really moved, very, very touched. Nikki Scorpio, my music partner, met Eric Thompson, who has this company called Subtle Energy, and he had this vision. Long story short, he connected me with Subtle Energy, and he sent me all these different healing frequencies, and I looked at all of them, and I thought, for these beats, for Hypnotic Energy, for this EP, the best healing frequencies that align to my heart and soul is 639. 639 hertz fosters forgiveness, peace, and love in the relationships, as well as stimulates the higher heart chakra. 639 hertz reconnects and rebalances your relationships. Seeing that, I just thought with the lockdown and what's happening on a planetary level, I felt forgiveness is the number one thing that we all need. I know that I need. Forgive myself, forgive my friends, peers, family, forgive each other. So I'm wondering, is there someone you would like to forgive? Is there someone that you've been wanting to forgive? Is there someone you want more compassion for? Maybe someone you want to reconnect with. So it'd be really awesome if you left a comment below and shared with me. Let's start a conversation, a positive conversation with compassion and kindness and forgiveness. And with no further ado, I would love to share with you Breonna Taylor, Justice Will Be Served. It's released today on my podcast, and it's available streaming everywhere as a single. I hope you love it. I hope you're inspired by it. I hope you're moved. I hope you'll share it. Her name, her legacy will live on. Breonna Taylor. Justice will be served. In conclusion, I would like to share The Republic by Plato. Just and unjust. Very simple. Just and unjust. And what happened with Breonna Taylor was unjust. Therefore, I don't know how, when, but I do know justice will be served. Justice will be served in honor of her name and her legacy. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope I've inspired you. And I would love for you to shoot me an email, thesophisticatedpsychos@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram, The Sophisticated Psychos. Also, my personal account, just my last name, Chonacas. And subscribe. Cool. Here's a song. Ciao. Rock out your life. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Kitty over and out.